Hello and welcome back to Softcore History. My name is Jake Goldman. I'm your host for this week. I am joined, as always, by Dan Regester, and there's someone missing.
There is somebody missing.
Yeah, but you know what? We're not even going to talk about that guy.
No, we will.
We will, but
we're going to bring it up right now, actually.
We won't do that.
Rob cares about his family more than he cares about us. Very selfish.
And our other guest, filling in for Rob, a huge friend of the podcast. We love having her here. Okay. Gabby Montemayor. Oh, wow. I can't say her last name. Sorry.
Too much Spanish flavor right there.
Yeah, I tried to pull the Chile on it. Gabby Montemayor. Wow, what the fuck?
Now, do you hate that, by the way, when the
Montemayor.
whites tried to Spanish up their words?
You say it. How would you say it, my last name?
I have no idea.
Montemayor.
I don't hate it. You're close. Montemayor.
Okay,
Montemayor.
If you're white, you can say Montemayor. I try to say Montemayor, but then sometimes I get lazy and I just say Montemayor.
I go because I have a bro voice and everyone thinks I'm saying something else at the bar. I have to go Goldman because they're always like Colbin. Like no, so we have like the same struggle.
Yeah, you have the same problems, right?
Same struggle. It's hard.
Thankfully, I got like an easy name, like Regester.
Yeah.
Molester? What were the last
names? Yeah, it's original.
I just say Montemayor, M-O-N.
You're a comedian, right?
M-O-N.
Yeah, M-O-N. And then that gets it in a bar.
That's now, good. You're going to want to bring the microphone close to your face.
This is like a big Dan thing. Yeah, Gabby, you're a comedian here in Austin. Yeah. If the crowd, the listeners aren't familiar with your work.
That's okay. You really shouldn't have.
She's also been on an episode of Softcore History.
Comedian is a very loose term. I used to be more of a comedian, and now I'm... But yeah, you can follow me, Gab Monty. I have shows at Wanderlust Wine Company on Saturdays.
All right, we're not here to promote your shit.
Oh, she can promote her stuff.
We're not here to promote your shit.
Yeah.
Moving on.
If you're in Austin, go to Wanderlust on Saturdays. Check out Gabby's comedy. She puts on a great show there. I've stopped by a few times. It's awesome. But yeah, we're so stoked to have you on the show. Amidst all of this crazy fucking freeze weather we have.
Something happened with you, or...
Dan, you just got your power back an hour ago. I have dumb brain because I've been living without power. I still don't have power. I haven't had it since Tuesday. This is the only building with heat I've been in since Monday.
I've adapted.
Night. You've overcame?
Mm-hmm. I'm used to this. Well, 3 days without power?
This happens to you every time.
This is nothing. 3 days?
Did you get comfortable by just knocking the windows out first? Like you're just used to broken windows, maybe sell some stuff, pawn it. Get the full Dan experience.
It's like every 6 months, someone's going to break into my truck, and whether it's open or not, I leave it open now. And every January, February, I'm going to be without power for about a week.
It's so funny because I look forward. Dan is always one of the worst. Like out of everyone I know, Dan's situation is the worst. And Dan turns into a little feral rat in a big city, looking for shelter. You know how they say, after a blizzard, check your tailpipes for, sleeping cats or rats? That's you. You just you seek heat.
Right.
You're resilient.
Seek heat. I was under a truck last night, actually.
You were?
Yeah, and then I got awoken and thankfully scattered out before he ran me over.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see what's up. Yeah, you've been staying at your boss's place, huh?
No, I've been staying at multiple spots. You can't keep me down. You can't keep me in one spot.
Again, yes, very much to the rat point.
I can afford it, though. I don't have anybody tying me down.
That's a New York rat. If I can afford it, though. That's a New York rat.
I can afford to couch surf.
Yeah, I don't. No wife, no kids.
I know some good couches. I got the good spots.
There's a couch out and dripping.
I bet it gets better and better every time because the couches, get better and better every time.
Mm-hmm. I also didn't think it was going to last this long. I'm yeah, surely.
It wasn't bad. The weather, it was just, it's so bizarre. It was just the no power.
Just all the trees are dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
at an alarming rate.
Did it not remind you of a hurricane coming through? All the trees down and shit like that?
That was the best part. It was driving around because there's nobody on the roads and all the trees are covering the different turns and everything. So it was almost like a post-apocalyptic video game or...
It felt like a Dr. Seuss book. The day all the trees died and they were all covered in white, drooping over, sad. We had my dad's truck, and so I drove a truck. I ran out of power. My sister was with me. We went to Veronica, another friend of the show. We went to her house, and it was, bizarre. It was just, all the trees were sad, and, all the grass was sad.
They were frozen to the ground. That's the craziest
They were
part.
uprooted, too. But, yeah, some of them just had, hundreds of pounds of ice on it.
Thousands.
That's why they kept crashing. So at night, you would just hear...
Did you guys get the exploding transformers too? Because I got that.
Yeah, we got that.
I like that noise. But I like the tree noises at first.
I did
it
too.
It was magical.
But then I'm like, is that my car?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The fact your car didn't get crushed is a miracle to me.
Well, it only gets hit by other people.
That's true. It's only scoped out.
Fist
taken out.
or
I can't
vehicle.
believe Rob is missing the part 2 snow episode, the part 2
Right.
winter weather episode.
Yeah.
The only evergreen episode or
Our non-evergreen
the
episode.
opposite of that.
Yeah, we're actually starting off very non-evergreen. For everyone that's catching up on the back catalog right now in the future,
No, this is evergreen now. Texas, it's a once-in-a-lifetime storm that happens every year. So
every
Every
fucking year.
I journaled about it too. I was like, I'm gonna want to. I was like, it wasn't as bad as 2021. It was fine.
progress, yeah.
Progress, babe.
Yeah, we had water, so that was cool.
It was sick. I could take a shower in the dark.
You know what I didn't have though, Dan?
What's that?
I didn't have my boys. I didn't get to pal around with the
Yeah,
boys.
right? I had some of my boys.
And
I
some
like
of
it
your
with
boys.
friends. It's fun. It's like
Yeah.
an unexpected camp with your friends.
We went
Yeah.
to Pluckers the first night. That was apparently the only place that was open. And
Is Pluckers the?
it was peak Pluckers crowd.
What was
Dude,
the dumbest
Pluckers
thing
is
y'all
gross.
saw open? I saw like some dumb stuff open.
What'd you say?
It was like, it wasn't food. I'm trying to think of
Bars.
what it was.
There's some bars.
Like
Bars or like
salon?
coffee shops. Like you don't need coffee. You can relax.
Ooh, I definitely
disagree.
went out and got coffee.
Yeah.
Went out and got coffee.
I made coffee the first day. I have a French press, so I could I have a hand grinder, so I could set it all up myself. But then I was like, I don't want to do shit. Like, I just want someone to make something for me. I want a little treat. So I went out and
Jake could have a little treat during the blackout.
what's that?
You can have a little treat during the blackout.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
For sure.
It's treat
But
yourself.
like the thing is, you're supposed to stock up. So I stocked up before. Like I'm not leaving the house until everything's done with.
Yeah.
And then like all my food is bad. I have
That's
to-
another
I
thing.
have to
Going
go
to the
through my
grocery store
fridge.
right before everyone's just losing their minds.
Seeing what people fucking panic buy is one of my favorite things in the world.
I
Batteries.
just had enough stuff. I was like, I don't think I need to go to the store. I'll be fine till Friday. Like I can get by.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Plenty of eggs though. They got priced out.
Did they?
Yeah, they were like, we should panic buy eggs. No,
Are they back to normal?
no, it's like $5. I don't know why people make a big deal out.
It's-
$5 a carton is not terrible. It's not great.
We're privileged, Dan. We can
This
just
is-
afford to, buy eggs.
That's
Right.
the thing. There's a lot of prices I just don't check until it gets to a certain point where I'm like with gas, it got to be like, it wasn't until honestly like 420 where I was like, nice. And I was like, hey, wait.
Wait a
And I
minute.
was like,
Not
that's
nice.
why it's so expensive.
Yeah,
I was like, I just
Yeah.
kept paying more and more.
You notice that a little bit more when you drive a truck.
totally.
Yeah, yeah.
The SUV has like a 16-gallon tank.
And then
it
Also, most gas stations won't let you buy more than like $75 of gas.
No, that's
Really?
just your bank because they know you, Dan.
Perhaps.
Save.
Well, no,
Save
no.
rap, man.
That's true. I mean, especially 2019, Dan.
20 hard money lending, Dan.
No, like front desk at Lifetime, Dan.
Oh man.
They're one. Are they
The
not
dark
one? Are they
days.
not one and the same?
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty much the same
you
dude.
both know
Sorry, Dan.
Hard Money and Dark Day, Dan.
That was
Anyways.
kind of my favorite, Dan. Getting really into hard money lending.
I wasn't really into it.
Yeah.
I was looking for my next job
Oh,
as
constantly.
soon as I got in the door.
Well, I guess I can start off the
What
episode.
a tangent that was.
Yeah. I was talking about hanging out with the boys to try and sag it into the episode.
I was hanging out with my boys in New Orleans, just like 2019, Dan. I had, you know what? When we were all in New Orleans for Rob's wedding, I had like $12 in my bank account.
I believe it.
And I didn't realize, I didn't factor in, I had to pay for parking at the hotel.
Oh no, that could break you.
It did.
It did.
It did.
He overdrafted. Overdrafted for parking a fucking car.
like you could have parked somewhere else too. You just
No.
did it.
No,
Where do you park in New Orleans?
In New
I'm
Orleans,
sorry.
we
In
get to the
French
hotel
Quarter?
and
Yeah.
like it's valet only, and they're like $40 a night. I'm like, fuck.
Oh my god, it's like 200 times your net worth at that point.
I love the overdraft fee because it's like I couldn't afford McDonald's,
It
but
is
you're gonna
very
charge
Here's
me
another
$40
$35
now? What? All right. Well, today we're gonna be talking about Charles II. He is a king of England. His reign started in 1660, but Charles II is a perfect example of decadence and nobility. We were talking about this the other day, where how we talk about. People talk about politicians now, like who knows the weird shit they're getting into now and like what kind of gross stuff they do behind closed doors. Like we do know because politicians used to do that shit all the time and like monarchs especially, they used to get fucking weird. And that really kind of like hits its high water mark with Charles II. So his court was the
What
kind
do they
of,
do weird now? They're pretty normal people.
I think it's just orgies, right?
No, they're pretty boring. Pretty vanilla
Politicians?
people. Yeah.
People that desire to be a politician have like weird, depraved like things that they have to like things that they do that it's like, why would you even think to do that?
Anyone that gets into politics willingly is either a sociopath, a psychopath, or just a complete
Just
loser.
never had enough love and
No.
attention and
Like,
affirmation.
imagine
Yeah.
preparing your entire life to try to become like a House of Representative.
The thing
person.
is, like, I could see it for some people it making sense, but it's like it's so even. I don't know. I don't even want to. I mean, I guess we are going to get into it. That's the whole point.
We're
of
gonna
this
get into
Oh,
it.
we're going to get into it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're going to be talking more
Well, monarchs are a little bit more tight.
monarchy,
Yeah.
which makes a little bit more sense because there's a whole divine right aspect.
Because
It's like, I was
born
born for it.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you ever hear about like the Hussein children?
Oh, God. Uday and Kusei?
Yeah, they were nuts.
They were like
But they-
flaying people. For
Right, but
fun.
they would invite over some rappers and just like have like 90s concerts in
Yeah.
the palace.
No, I mean, they found like bricks of cocaine, tons of gold. We could do a whole episode, actually, I think.
I think there's enough
soon.
time's passed, yeah.
Yeah, on Uday and Kusei alone. There's a great documentary on HBO called The House of Sodom. Or
Saddam?
Yeah, but
The
Saddam.
House of Sodom.
Sodom and
Yeah, but Saddam.
Gomorrah?
Yeah. Well,
Saddam Hussein.
yeah, I mean, kind of, play on words.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, too bad he didn't die like Gaddafi.
Oh,
That
Saddam?
would have made it
Yeah, they pulled him out of a hole.
if Saddam died by sodomy.
Whoa.
They hung him. So wait,
know,
wait
but
did
it'd be funnier
Gaddafi get fucked to death?
Didn't after he was dead, they like rammed like a pole up his ass.
It was a bayonet.
And like
Yeah.
a dildo up his mouth and shit, like when he's beheaded?
Yeah, they like skewered him like a kebab.
They sodomized him. Right,
Mhm.
exactly. They straight up Lord of the Flies him. So, it's actually a
They
rumor.
do that to Mussolini kind of too.
They did that to Mussolini as well.
Yeah.
They did.
It's always these fringe guys.
These fringe. Mussolini's not fringe.
Yeah, he is. Mussolini wishes he was
He
like
was-
Stalin
he was-
or Hitler.
Oh yeah, he's playing like third wheel to the power dictators for sure.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call him fringe. He was part of the Axis.
Right, but like we're not face fucking Hitler's face.
No, he blew his face off before we could do that.
Well,
I'm sure we would have.
maybe,
I
maybe.
bet we would have. After
I'm
hearing,
still hunting them right now in Argentina.
I hope you hunt Nazis. That'd be cool.
We have a couple friends that do.
Really?
Friends of the
I
program.
knew an Argentinian Nazis
You know some?
or Colombian.
You know a Nazi in
Colombia now.
They have a German last name and like are light skin and speak Spanish and are from Colombia.
You know what's really funny? Instead of Israel at one point, they were thinking of moving all the Jews to Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a real nightmare, all
Wasn't-
things considered, because that's where all the Nazis went.
That
Yeah.
that's why the creation of the Mossad happened, right? Because they wanted to just hunt down all these
Yeah.
ex-Nazis
Yeah, we could do a whole episode on that too. But we're going to get to Depraved.
before they killed Princess Diana.
Oh, yes, for sure.
What a wild intro this has been.
Yeah, this happens a lot. But
A lot of asides.
Charles II's court was the kind of rowdy bunch of individuals that would, for all intents and purposes, push their privilege to the extreme when it came to obscenity, indulgence, and most of all, partying their fucking faces off. The story of Charles II, his court, really begins with the English Restoration after a bout of civil war, which saw Charles II get smuggled to France to be protected. He was the prince at that time. His dad was beheaded by a bunch of Puritans.
Wow.
Really weird too, because that's the first and only time a king of England has ever been beheaded in public. So
So he's a coward, left his dad at home to get beheaded.
yeah, pretty much. He was a child, but yeah, child coward for sure. Goes to France. Wow.
Mm.
That time in France is going to help him out though in the long run. But yeah, so
How old was he around then?
He was like early teen, maybe preteen.
He could have
like,
fought.
Ooh,
Could have fought.
ooh, what?
that's so young.
I'm not
Yeah.
letting my
Like,
dad die when I'm 9.
12?
11. Yeah.
That's in your blood. That's fucked up. I feel like not that I understand it if you're like 18 or 19, but it's like if something bad happened, I kind of do. But it's like when you're 12, it's like that's who you are deep down.
Yeah. Oh, trauma at 12 years old?
I'm not talking about trauma. I'm talking about him just being a loser.
Oh, yeah. That's in your blood too, for sure.
Pick up the saber, man.
Well, he kind of does. So,
It's like, I'll let my dad take it for now.
yeah, for sure. He was able to actually come back in 1660, after all the civil wars were done, and ascended the throne. His return to England was celebrated, and for pretty good reason. English Puritans were absolute trash. They banned everything. Makeup was banned. Performing arts were banned. So like dancing, musical theater, things like that were banned.
Rightfully so.
Just like religion, just like religious bans.
Yeah, basically. It was like, imagine American fundamentalists or Puritans, and then times it by a million.
Mhm.
American Puritans left England.
This had nothing to do with God, though.
No, it's all power. It's all over Cromwell's rule.
No, it was just the dancing back then was an abomination.
It was just bad. I mean, imagine a bunch
No.
of ancient English people dancing.
Ugh, I mean, even now, let's ban it. Let's do that again. Let's
I
bring back-
What are
agree.
you talking about?
Ban
Dance-
TikTok, please.
Brexit, but this dancing thing, they shouldn't be allowed to do that anymore.
I think it's funny that the most dancing white people do is enough movement to not leave a frame this big.
the
It's,
snap.
yeah, it's like, oh, okay. As long as I don't move my arms too much, I
How
can't
can
be
I
called out.
monetize this?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so they banned sports. Lame.
It'd be nice without a 1 month without sports would be a better world.
Yeah,
think
COVID
everyone
happened.
deserves a break.
COVID happened.
Yeah, but like regularly, like the way that like in England they have a month off for holiday. Let's just agree.
They kind of do that. Nobody really pays like any
It's
attention to the
what,
NBA.
summer baseball?
Somebody cares a lot about it all year long.
That's true.
Well, I gamble on something at some point, but like for my own
What would you gamble
personal,
if there was a month with no sports?
There'd be
well,
something.
I did live that reality. It was March 2020.
Oh yeah, right after you recouped your losses from the parking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what'd you bet on?
I was betting on like table tennis.
No.
Dude, did you bet on cornhole? Do you remember when cornhole was the only
darts?
sport on TV?
Have you bet on darts?
UFC and golf thankfully got there pretty quick, but there was a lot of sports over in like different countries that I was betting on.
Like cricket?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Like
rough.
whatever came up on
curling.
our betting website.
Curling might have come up. Yeah, we have the same bookie, Dan and I, and
I don't
I
understand what the thrill is in sports betting. I know y'all both really like it. I don't get it. And I'm not anti-gamble. I like to play poker or blackjack
Yeah.
or craps, but like I don't understand sports.
sports betting kind of puts you way more emotionally invested into
Yeah.
games you normally wouldn't care about. So like
And the older I get,
But
the
why do you
less I
want to
care about my
emotionally
teams.
invest into something you previously wouldn't care about?
because college football has like 36 hours of programming a week, and if I'm not doing anything anyway, and there's a Thursday night game between like Ohio.
Also,
or
you know
Miami
what's
of
cool
Ohio
too?
and someone
Making
else, like-
tax-free like $1,000 a week.
I never make money. I just like I like college football.
Neither does Dan.
Well, I
Dan's
lose money.
break even, Dan, and I'm just like
I have highs and lows.
Dan had a goal of
Do you keep
winning.
track?
Yeah.
It keeps track for you, which is the funniest part.
Oh,
Yeah. What do you think you're at? Like
you won't post your
totality.
You won't post your results.
Like lifetime? No, I
Cumulative.
am keeping track this year. I'm trying
Yeah.
to hit 25K this year.
but do you post?
where is he? Ask where he is at
put
that.
it in the Patreon.
We're at minus $200.
If 10 people sign up,
I
for
just told you
Patreon-
we're at minus
He's been betting
$200.
all year to make 25,000 net.
Well, I was up.
He's down $200.
I was up $2,000, and then yeah,
That's still so far. That's not even a tenth.
I
How
lost
can you be up
$1,000
$2,000
on
and down.
because I lost
now?
$1,000 on the Bengals last
He
week.
lost $1,000 on tape.
One
like,
game.
while we were recording.
Oh,
It was. You should definitely check that out. It's a good episode. But
We just need one of these golf bets to hit.
yeah, just one.
It's like $5,000 right
Dan,
there.
You need children or something in your life to pull you away.
Some
from
sense
I'm
of
sorry,
purpose.
Supplanting. Your recommendation for
Yeah.
supplanting his gambling addiction is have a kid.
Because he's a good dog dad, but it's not taking enough time from him. He needs he needs something that zaps his mental energy and his time and his money. Like
He's a good
child.
dog dad. He openly talks about how they cohabitate.
Yeah, he's my roommate. I have really no
See,
feelings
he's a
towards him.
rat. This is a cartoon of a rat and a dog that live together. It's homeward bound, but in real life.
It's
Okay.
the not so incredible journey.
Sorry.
No, here's the thing, right? If I had a child, I would just gamble on whatever he did.
Yeah, that would be fun. You would make a lot of friends and money.
Like a
doing
potato
bets
sack race,
at a soccer tournament,
collecting bets.
a travel tournament, and like you're in Houston or something. You can make like
The Pinewood Derby.
yeah,
Oh, you're talking about just like running side hustle on
yeah, like I
kids
bet
sports?
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I would fix children's sports.
Every dad there would give you $50 for a thrill.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that works on a lot of levels. But yeah, I think once Rory comes to sporting age, we need to go participate in the crowd.
I don't think Rory's going to play sports the way things are going.
That's really mean.
Anyway,
moral of the story, though, is actually I can't live without sports because I can't live without gambling.
even if you're...
It's not a world I want to live in.
Do you play poker?
I play poker, but poker's too long. If you want to like grind, there's nothing worse than grinding out.
No more than watching sports is a huge commitment.
Yeah, but sports are fun. Grinding out against like fucking sharks at the casino on a Wednesday for like 8 or 9 hours and
like
breaking even.
$250.
Yeah,
max. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Going to a poker table and then like knowing that you just have to hold your cards and you can't like go tilt or anything like that. You just have to sit there and wait until you have a hand.
I was early too. I used to do Poker Stars when I was like 12, 13. My dad gave me like $100 to throw in the account.
That's
That's insane.
right there.
I got up pretty high and then the fucking site went under and I couldn't cash out.
What were you at?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Well, we can get back to the show.
Would have covered parking in New Orleans. It was at least that much.
Definitely that much. That 120. Yeah, for sure.
No, we had that.
12-year-old you had more money than
12-year-old me had more money than
25-year-old
29-year-old me.
So with Charles II, basically everyone was so tired of this period and bullshit. They're like, yeah, bring back the monarchy. Let's get going. Like, let's get rid of these assholes and just have a king around again. This will be good. So people were just freaking out, celebrating. There was, bonfires in the streets and there was a lot of parades and joy. But an interesting thing about it was everyone was so stoked to not have Puritan rule again that there wasn't a riot, which normally happened during celebration. Like everyone was really chill about it. No fights in the streets, no bar brawls, nothing like that. So it's actually like one of the happiest times in English history was his coronation. But as soon as he gets coronated, he makes sure he's like, all right, it's game time. Let's keep this party going. This is what I care about. This is going to be my rule. He's known as the Merry Monarch because he just liked to party a lot. So because of his kind of French influence and the way he wanted to do things, London quickly became this like it place in the world, and it became a playground for the nobility. Think like 1960s San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury, or,
I'm trying to think of 1960s San Francisco. Nothing's coming to mind.
It's party too hard.
No, I've no picture painted.
It's the hippie movement
in my head.
It's
like hedonism, like to another level of like
do you think,
so much pleasure.
It's free love.
Do you think hippies were crisis actors?
Hippies, crisis actors?
Yeah.
You could
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Is it always made just like it kind of deflected from the civil rights movement?
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Well,
what were they wanting peace about?
War. No.
Yeah, but not really. It was just a general peace.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the actual like free love movement in America can be boiled down to MK Ultra and the introduction of LSD by the federal government into the mainstream population. But that's a story for another time. No? We didn't just have LSD one day.
Yeah, wait. So do you with 100%, do you believe that 100% that's...
Yeah, the U.S. government was doing psychology tests under the guise of university studies, but it was actually the CIA funding it. And this is declassified information. Like this is what I'm telling you is fact.
We'll do this another time, I think.
Yeah, but I think what happened was a lot of people got LSD. They were giving people LSD to try and brainwash people and to like develop a truth serum. But then everyone had this LSD, and a lot of chemists that were doing the development for the government started making it on the side and dispersing it as well. So I don't think the government like necessarily was like, yeah, put it out there, get it out to people. But I think the people that they put in charge of making it did put it out there. And they were like, no, this is like way bigger than just like trying to do some government.
Yeah, I don't think those were hippies though.
A lot of them were. I mean,
those people are long gone.
They were hippies.
They turned into glasses of orange juice.
Oh, you're talking about that old story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a guy they know from their town. Tip him over and he dies.
Yeah, he's orange. He had all the hits of acid absorbed into his skin, right? So theaters were reopened. That was like one of the first things he did. And he made sure that women would be on stage, and that would be the first time ever in England that happened.
Remind me the time period?
This is 1660.
Okay.
Yeah, so late.
Trying to paint a picture. Perfect right here. I have it right in my mind.
Perfect. Great. Public taverns were drawing in men and women from across society, so it wasn't just like poor working class dudes drinking themselves to death. Everyone was going to the pub. Way
Big
more
ragers, big parties.
a lot more of a bar culture
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Bring
kind of.
some women, and everyone's
Hey, it's like
hanging around.
imagine that if we have chicks here, people want to come to the bar.
Not
Yeah.
women.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
They were like little young.
No, it wasn't just whores. It wasn't just sex workers.
It was broads.
real women.
It was broads and whores.
Well,
A
not-
working
mix.
woman.
That's what you want at
The
a good party. Is a
1600s.
good mix of broads and whores.
Yeah, like
There's
if you
two
strike
types of
out,
women.
pay up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A soft place to land when things don't go your way. That's all everyone.
Do you think
wants.
society would be better if that was always an option?
That is an option. You're either a broad or no, you're not.
No, I mean, for like, do you think men would be less violent?
Yeah, get
If,
rid
like-
of school shootings.
Yeah, probably.
There would be like, I feel like the incel thing just wouldn't.
Yeah.
They would get
I
laid.
don't know. They'd probably be like, I shouldn't have to pay. It's like, you
It's
kind
like be hotter or
Yeah.
Yeah.
more fun to be
Get it
around.
together.
have value of any.
Yeah, if
anything.
you're cooler, you don't have to pay for someone to suck your dick. And
Yeah.
if you're uncool, it's only $60, whatever it is.
That's
It should be like the cost of like a pedicure. Like it's like a luxury, but not really.
the
you
man
know?
salon. It's
Yeah.
just a blowjob parlor.
It's a blowjob. It's cheaper. I mean, it's less tools.
I feel confident. Like that's
Yeah.
literally. I mean,
You just want 30 minutes to sit down and like
be pampered.
decompress.
Yeah.
Give me a hot towel.
legalize sex
A
work.
tiny Asian
We-
with tiny
Yep,
hands.
we
doing
love
her-
a good hot towel.
right.
Every guy does. Just drape it on my face.
You can do it like those foot massage parlors where they're just like little beds in a dark room.
Oh, you're talking about like happy ending spots?
No, but like, have you been to like a foot massage place where it's like massage chairs
Yeah.
and then they just like, you're kind of dark and you're like maybe a few feet away from someone, but they're massaging like 10 people at a time.
Just massaging
Yeah.
cocks.
I've been to like
your legs and stuff.
great nails and shit like that on first. Yeah, I've done.
But
a
not
few
like, not a
pedis.
pedicure, just like a weird foot massage in like a relaxing room.
Oh no, I've never done that.
Where you don't get like your nails painted, you just get like somebody like
Someone
massaging
beats
your
legs up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on like a athletic training table.
I've never been anywhere
cool.
where I
It's
laid
pretty
full
cool.
flat. Yeah, no, that's good.
Jake
There's-
only goes to spots where you lay on your stomach and there's a hole where your junk is,
yes,
and you get milked.
a milking
No, he
table.
goes to like where they put his legs behind his head and he gets powdered like a baby.
Yeah, I get the sun right there in the brown eye. Yeah.
So the bars are fun.
Bars. A lot of tangents today, but that's good. That's good. That's good radio. The king and his court mingled with common people around town, and they basically just threw raiders at their houses too for a lot more than just nobility, which was also kind of this really new idea of like, oh shit, like the nobility, they're like us. They started kind of that trend of like, hey, you need to be around the people, get people to like you. Of course, there's people that don't like them, though. We'll get a little bit more into that later. A lot of people believe that Charles II's inclination for leisure and good times came from the time he had spent in exile at the French court, which was notorious across Europe for its decadences and sexually active members. They were fucking constantly over in France. They were way more ahead of schedule
Where
than
in
anyone
France?
else. It would be... I'm trying to think of where the
Are
palace
they
would be.
beaching
This was,
it up?
uh,
Are they in the mountains?
This was pre-revolution France.
Are they cold? Are they
so.
hot?
They're hot. They're definitely hot. They could probably
Hot
find
people?
places to be cold. Oh, yeah, they're hot for sure. I mean, it's like, I'm thinking like Versailles.
What are they revolting about then?
Well, too much decadence.
Everyone's just sucking and fucking.
Too much decadence, too much. We can talk about the French Revolution later. This would be a good time for Rob to
Imagine
be
how
around.
that
but
would smell. Just
It-
like cum and sweat.
what it would smell like back then is what Bourbon Street smells like right now.
Oh my God.
I would almost
Yeah. 100%.
I would
That's
prefer
what
to
it would
smell
smell
like
like.
sweat and
I think
cum.
it'd be a little jammier, but
Jammier.
yeah, like
What-
kind of funky, cummier.
Lot of
like kind
BO.
thicker. I just feel like thicker.
that like, yeah, more body odor, less
Like
body
the kind of smell you
excrement.
can taste, you know?
Yeah, it's
The smell you-
pungent.
The smell you can taste. New Orleans.
Yeah, that's good. Like, yeah, it smells like a jockstrap. You know, that's definitely, I think,
Is that on their tourism pamphlets?
They should do scratch and sniff.
scratch and sniff New Orleans
For
would
like-
make people vomit.
For like February versus April versus July.
This is what it smells like when it's hot. You don't want to come here.
They're like,
Yeah.
November is actually pretty nice. It doesn't stink too bad.
I will say when it's cold in New Orleans, it's not that bad.
It's awesome when it's cold.
What do you mean it's
Yeah.
not bad? It's never bad.
It stinks in the summer, bro.
Bad.
Who
It's
cares?
It's bad sometimes.
So yeah.
You know what you're getting into.
Anyway, on Charles II's return to England, he was like, you know what? The sexy, scandalous shit, that's going to stay in my court. I'm bringing that home. I'm going to, appropriate that from France and bring it to the English court. So Charles surrounded himself with young nobles who were concerned more with having fun through gambling, drinking, and womanizing and partying than anything else like work or family. And for the record, the ladies of the court were actually having a great time too. This is a big equality for the time we're calling it equality.
He's a progressive.
He's incredibly progressive as far as
he's like, ladies can be
Very
freaks
Hugh
too.
Hefner.
yeah, I would definitely put it like early Hugh,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like, oh, this is freeing for you, and it's like really not, but like they're like, oh, I like to party too.
And I think it's a lot less like Hugh Hefner's kind of freeing is like even though we're still objectifying you, it's like you hold the power.
Yeah.
In this situation, and I think that's kind of the same dynamic.
It's like, do you want to be on this pen or not?
Do you want to be a pinup or not? Like, I mean, that's the thing though. Like, Playboy Playmates were like obviously still looked at as sex objects, but they had power in the situation. They weren't just like.
I think Hugh had the power.
Well, yeah, Hugh had the power, but they had power over everyone but him. I don't know.
You haven't seen the Secrets of Playboy documentary yet, have you? It's
Oh,
pretty
no.
good. It's pretty
Should
good.
I watch it tonight?
It's pretty good.
Maybe I'll have power.
You
and
won't be
watch
able to
it.
finish it tonight.
Oh, damn.
There's like 13-hour episodes.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm definitely diving into that.
He never really interests me.
Hugh Hefner?
No.
He's so gross.
He's super gross.
It's bad.
He was fucking a lot
But
with
wait,
him, right?
I'll point out the similarities as we go.
Okay. So, yeah, the women were encouraged to be witty, intelligent, brazen, and
No,
sexually
don't
liberated.
I mean, hey, they still don't like it. Men still don't like when women are that way.
Do you think men really don't find funny women like they feel intimidated by it, or do you think they're
Not all men, for sure. There's
Okay.
there's definitely like a kind of man that like enjoys a mouthy woman. But
for sure?
yeah, a lot of them are just like, oh my God. Like they just wish you would shut up. And like they like you fine, but they would just like you
Are you
more
done talking?
if you were quiet. Yeah. What if I did that? If I did this for another minute, it would be the equivalent of you continuing to talk about New Orleans and how poor you were when we were trying to.
Okay.
It's fair, right?
I see. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. They were supposed to be sexually liberated rather than following the outdated ideals of women who were passive, obedient, and virtuous. The palaces were a merry-go-round of adultery, with women playing an equally active role just as much as the men. So, big thing was cucking. Women were actively trying to cuck their husbands at this point in the court.
Without the husband knowing.
Oh, especially without the husband knowing.
Nice.
That was like the hot shit.
That's
It's
just
like,
That would
cheating.
be honestly so fun. If it not fun.
it would be so
Surprise.
fun.
If everyone was doing it and my husband was like a piece of shit and we were poor and I didn't like him and he was old and fat and he was mean to me and always gone, I
you
would
projecting
so
right now?
try. No, not at all. I would so try to like disrespect him in his own house. That's
Not-
something I would do.
Not to the point where you get thrown out.
Now, by
No,
surprise,
but I would disrespect him enough to be like, oh, sorry.
Oh, did I say that wrong?
And then like
Yeah.
make pasta
is he
or
still in the
something
room
and
then?
say-
So she just starts sucking a cock.
You're
as-
thinking of porn cucking. Like you're thinking of pornography cucking.
No, the other, if he's not in the room, it's cheating. It's not cucking.
No.
but if you do it at a time when you know he's coming home and you plan to get caught, it's cucking. Planning to get caught is cuck.
I thought a cuckold was just a man whose wife cheats on him, period.
Whose man
It technically could be, but
he has to watch.
Isn't that a newer definition, though?
no.
Just
Just say cheating. It's not.
I thought he had to be engaged in some way. I thought the cuckolding
It
happened.
has to at least know.
Nope. A cuckold is a man whose wife is sexually unfaithful, regarded as an object of derision. There is a verb, which the verb of it is like the guy makes it. But yeah, typically speaking, the man just has to be having his wife cheat on him. Gabby has left. She's
doing another podcast over in the corner.
It's Drinking with Gabs. And you ever going to do a gabbing with Gabby?
Well, first off, we need to not have her talk when she's not talking to the microphone.
That's fair.
Be a goddamn professional.
Better.
Oh, okay. Be a professional.
Do you want some Costco champagne?
I do. You fill up first, though, because it's your champagne.
It's Costco. It's for everyone.
Okay. But, yeah, I feel like we're being super professional considering I'm doing this and my house doesn't have power right now.
Oh my
So
god, are you gonna
cuckolding-
like try to ride off that excuse for how long? Probably the next month.
Are you kidding me? I got to thread Katie's grandma dying
What if
into
Katie's
this.
cuckolding you right now?
That would be sad.
That was actually the plan all along. She's like, oh no, our power's out.
She texted me. She was like, "Can you?" Just kidding.
Who are you sending someone or are you going?
No, she was like, "Can you get him out of the house?" And I was like,
God, no. Don't.
I know, because we usually record Sunday nights and we're here on a Friday.
Ooh, Friday guy day.
think she
Last
got a
time it
date.
was a Friday. We would know that if there was a YouTube video.
Fair enough.
Her and Rob are both not here.
Ew.
Makes you think.
Does it? Does it make you think? I feel like that would be like.
It would be gut wrenching. It would be hilarious. It would be.
It would break my soul, but it'd also make me like. I would break me in a way that I couldn't stop laughing.
Well, it's kind of poetic when you think about everything.
Yeah, as
What?
you're sharpening
What
the
does
knife.
that mean? What does that mean?
It would be a funny, like, I can't believe it, but like, it sounds too. Never mind.
Stranger than fiction.
Preposterous.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just feel like that whole exchange would be like two people trying to shake hands with both their left hand.
It's like when you're
or
trying,
like-
when you like
yeah.
walk into somebody like in an aisle and you're trying to
yeah,
like,
that would be that.
and then you just
interaction.
eventually kind of like two magnets that can't go together but do.
and then they flip.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So not everyone was super.
They just have the best chemistry ever.
Oh God,
Katie does listen.
I know.
Right?
Katie listens.
So
Courtney
we-
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtney will never.
I know.
So we can say whatever we want about
Yeah.
her, which we don't.
Let's
Rob
give her
does.
a break this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's just say only nice things about Courtney this week.
Let's just keep her out of our
So
mouths.
there's cuckolding
Yeah.
by the broads.
Broads are loving it. That's a big thing. There's like a popular song at the time about cuckolding. It's like it's called like King Charles II made like the national opening song for shit. It was called like Walk of the Cuckolds. Like he loved sexually promiscuous songs. So that's like, oh, national anthem? Fuck that. We're doing Walk of the Cuckolds when we open up anything.
That's wild.
Yeah. That's how
like
much.
if WAP was the national anthem.
Why isn't it?
It basically is.
Pretty much. But a lot of people weren't into it. This is a quote from one of his biggest critics, commenting on the state of the court and what he found appalling about it. I will translate this later, but it's, I'm never to forget the unexpressible luxury and profaneness, gaming, and dissolution, as it were total forgetfulness of God in the court, because he witnessed this on a Sunday. I was...
Grow up. Relax.
Oh, we just left Puritan England. So.
I have no idea what you said. I need a translation.
He's just being judgmental of like, I can't believe that that I have to watch this Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B music video on a Sunday, God's Day.
My
Chill
wife's
out.
pussy never gets wet.
Probably
like,
doesn't.
That's not true at all.
Wet pussy?
They
Never.
They should be bone dry, like suede.
For friction. I was witness of the king sitting and toying with his concubines, Portsmouth, Cleveland, and Mazarine.
Those are their names?
Yes. A French boy singing love songs in the gallery, while about 20 of the great court members and other dissolute persons were at a basset round, which is a large table, a bank of at least 2,000 in gold bars before them, fondling each other, it being a scene of utmost vanity. So all of this means what this guy saw, Charles II, the king, had 3 lovers on his lap. He was groping them, getting some
Just
fingers
a little
wet.
orgy over gold.
Yeah, while him and his boys listened to jams that a French guy was playing, and they just stared at their money on a table.
Live rappers.
They
the
were
original
rappers. This is a Lil Wayne
This is
video.
bottle service.
Yeah.
This is VIP. This is the champagne room.
This is the champagne. This is Champagne Poppy.
Champagne room.
Yeah,
Big
This is
things
champagne
popping.
room.
So the worst part though is all on a Sunday. Maybe if it was Friday, you'd be like, King's got a king.
No,
On
wouldn't
the
your
Lord's
people
Day?
object to it? If I guess there is no your people.
Friday
there.
is fine.
A day
I
of
thought-
rest.
Oh, is
It's
that not
sundown,
the
though.
Sabbath?
The Sabbath is from sundown Friday to
He's not
sundown
as Jewish
Saturday.
as me, so he wouldn't know.
Yeah, Dan's Portuguese Jewish, so I don't know what that means for you
I
personally.
wish I was Jewish.
Do you?
It's like a thing. As a kid, I really wanted to be Jewish, and I was like, I cried one day when I figured out that we're Catholic. I was like, why
It's
can't
the
we be
same
Jewish?
thing. It's so close.
I wanted, and my uncle is Jewish. My aunt married a
Also,
Jewish
what do you
guy.
mean?
so
What is that stank you put on Catholic?
Oh, I love it. No, I mean,
What
it's like,
stink?
oh my God, I'm on your team. We're on the same team.
We better be.
We're on the same team.
We
Listen, we've been previously blessed. We have VIP admission for life into heaven.
I've been confirmed.
Me too.
Oh.
What's your confirmation name?
Patrick.
Lucia.
Lucia. Okay, Lucia and Patrick. Well,
Interesting.
I chased away the
But
snakes.
anyways, chosen. chosen.
oh, I am chosen. Yes, you all were chosen or not chosen for a reason.
But you never did birthright. Wow.
I didn't do birthright. I think a lot of it was just like
You still can. I think
I
they
was
keep
gonna do
expanding
birthright.
it.
If I was a little bit younger, I would do birthright.
I think if I was like single and 25, I would have done it. But I had
Would've been
found
You were.
no, I wasn't. I I've been dating Katie since I was 23.
Wow. I would have done
Katie
it
since I was 23.
if I was a little bit younger. By the time I figured out it was possible to just be like, oh yeah, I'll convert, and then you don't have to, but you just have to kind of.
If you have, could you have gone because of your uncle? Would that have
I think
worked?
I'd have to just have someone vouch for me. Like,
You
we
could
know
have your
her,
uncle.
she's cool.
You could have probably hit me up. And
What
been
would
like,
Catholic birthright be?
Italy. I'm going to Italy.
Catholic birthright?
No, I know what it is.
No,
It's
you
Italy.
go to
It's
Boston.
the Vatican. It's the Vatican. It's
No.
Italy.
No.
No.
It's you go to Jerusalem and you take back the Holy Land.
It's a crusade.
Yeah.
It's a slow crusade. Which is a bunch of
A militia crusade.
it's just
volunteer.
a bunch of drunk fucking Bostonites in like Tom Brady jerseys trying to
and
sack Jerusalem.
San Antonio Mexicans.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
That's a
Mostly South American, Central American, Mexico, and then the Northeast. And we're all dressed in like Templar gear.
no. The
that's
women
modern.
have like lace and like black and like.
It's so different the way I view Boston Catholic and then like San Antonio Mexican Catholic.
Mhm.
So
Just very
it's-
different. Like
you look at
We're-
Irish
we're
Catholics
classier. We're
different than
cooler. They're
Mexican
trashy.
Catholics.
yes,
We're
weird.
trashy.
I feel like theirs works and the other one doesn't. Like that's real
Yeah,
because
because
there's some like Latin connection. You
there's
know,
a lot of.
You don't like my Notre Dame tattoo?
There's a lot of.
that's how they pegs you, man. That's a whole plot point to the town. That's my favorite part. The guy gets clocked with a Notre Dame Fighting Irish tattoo in Boston.
My favorite part is whose car we taking?
It's a good part.
Which movie was that?
The town.
The Town. I've only seen it like once.
What? You don't watch it all the time? That's a rewatch movie for a lot of guys.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've seen it in the last like 2 or 3 years, and I only saw it
Right.
once because it was so long.
I wake up every day at 4 o'clock in the morning just to throw on the town.
It's like that of The Departed.
It's like I get a nice cup
I
of
do
coffee.
like I have rewatched The Departed.
The Departed is
I
a
like
great. I'm not a
like
fucking
it.
co-op. I have a friend that wants to
You
do
want to be a co-op or you want
about
to pretend
The
to be a
Departed,
co-op?
where they just review every 5 minutes of the
For an hour.
for an hour. And it's called The Departed, POD.
Oh my god.
That'd be good, right?
I don't know how many legs that has.
You know, I really
None.
like the subtleness of the end where the rat runs across the railing.
It's you at wintertime.
Oh, it's Dan. That's Dan. That's
Dan.
Daniel Patrick, right
Look at
there.
Dad. He's cold.
Someone
It's
actually
snowing in Texas.
off to the Alamo. Here he goes. He scurries. Someone actually edited that out and sells a bootleg copy with that scene edited out because they think it's so shit.
It's so bad.
It's the worst part of the movie.
It's the worst thing Scorsese's done.
I was watching The Sopranos the other day, and there's a great scene where Chris Moltisanti is being shown around a movie set. It's a Jon Favreau movie, and they're explaining why the women shooting at each other have silenced pistols. It's like the silencer underscores their silenced voices in society, and it's like that's that moment in The Departed where it's like the rat gets away.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
It's fucking getting punched in the face with it.
It's like, come on, give us a little bit more credit.
I have.
But then again,
this episode
I
going.
guess
I'm sorry.
you ever see The Irishman,
I hated
which
that
is
movie.
not good.
I didn't like it either.
But
4 hours
apparently,
long.
you're supposed to look at it with with the under the geist or the under the light that it's the death of the mafia movie. So
They're like,
I
we're
don't know
so
if that
bad. No one's
changes
ever
your
going to make a
opinion.
movie like this ever again. This is the last movie like this you'll ever see because
Yeah,
we're so bad. We
'cause it's so
ruined your
fucking
love and
terrible.
affection for the art form that you've loved for all of your time watching movies.
Scorsese killed it.
That's the point.
I mean, that's honestly like if there was someone to kill it, it should be Scorsese though.
He knows that. That's why he did it.
Yeah, that's actually I kind of love that.
He whacked the mob movie.
That's so meta. A meta whack.
Metal whack. Oh man, nothing like a good metal whack after a long night of drinking.
Were you and Katie drinking all the last few
I
days?
was pounding box wine last night.
Okay.
What color?
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Red. Cab Sauv flavored black box.
Black box. That's classy.
Yeah.
I'm a black box gal.
Me too.
Slap
Me
the
too.
bag.
I haven't seen a Franzia in
Well, you just take the bag out of the box.
no, but like, I'm
They're
still
all
talking
clear
about
on the
black
inside,
box.
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, let's get back to this guy. Another common
Sorry.
practice. No, it's totally fine. Another
Stop
common.
apologizing for what this podcast is,
Yeah,
Jake.
this
This is
I
it.
didn't say
It
sorry.
was literally me.
She
This is
said
it.
sorry.
You said
I
sorry.
feel like
we'll get back on
I
track.
feel like I keep. Just,
You know what? You guys don't need to know
Snowstorm.
about Charles II. Let's just riff.
Let's just do it.
Let's just riff. Rob
be
would be so mad.
comedians.
Rob
just
is
put it
pissed. Rob
down.
is mad right now.
Another common practice.
He's not listening.
He's not.
He only listens to his
Himself.
voice.
Dan, you're gonna
He
take.
actually isolates the audio.
Yes, he does. He isolates his own track And he's waiting for his turn to talk.
I believe it.
Another common practice in France that Charles quickly adopted was the tradition for the monarch to have a woman who held the official position of the king's chief mistress. So this is an official state title that he's introducing to the monarchy.
Chief blowjob officer.
CBGO. Yeah, that's got easy. It's a mouthful.
CBO. I think blowjob's one word. No hyphen.
Blowjob is
It's not.
BJ.
It's not hyphenated.
Oh,
It's
so
BJ.
you say like, hey, do you want a B?
I don't. I'm an adult. I don't need to abbreviate blowjob.
I'm
You
a
want to
B.
abbreviate BJ?
I don't. I guess I don't say.
Have you?
I don't ask. I just do.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
This would be like the modern day equivalent of the presidential throuple situation happening. So like, this was so insane to have this happen in England, which was super uptight, that the fact he just did it in the first year was like, yeah, it's my mistress. I'm announcing it. She's recognized. She's legit. Don't fuck with her. Don't give her shit.
Have you ever been approached for a throuple?
I have
Or to be a third or a
This
bowl?
is Charles, or what's his name?
Charles II.
Charles II. I
Yeah.
bet our King Charles wishes he could have had that legislation when he was a prince.
That guy
Camilla and
sucks.
Diana?
Oh my God.
I know, but if he had an official position for Camilla and he could have Diana, if he could have his
He
cake and eat
essentially
it too.
did. He was
Yeah.
fucking Camilla the whole time. Like,
Oh, with those fingers? Those
I'm
beefy
God.
fingers?
it's
Bloody, like
10 dicks.
yeah, like bloody sausages.
I mean, when you're old, your circulation gets like shit. I feel like my hands have been cold.
I know,
They're
but
a
he
couple
just,
rosy.
you know, tosses a finger in there.
You can toss that nose too. It's got a big honker,
Yeah,
bro.
you don't need 3 when the fingers are that thick. You only need 1, maybe 2.
Learning something new about digit numbers.
One in the pink.
2 in the front, 5 comfortably in the back. Minivan.
5 comfortably in the back.
It's like, that would always be my response when people are like, you know what the shocker is, right? It's 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. I'd be like, oh, have you heard of the minivan?
That's so funny. I'd never heard of that one.
2 in the front, 5 comfortably in the back.
So gross.
Woo!
The comfortably is great. That's hilarious. All right.
A lot of cup holders, you know. But the dude adored his wife, but he absolutely loved to fuck. He couldn't help it. Basically, anything even remotely attractive, he was tossing game to, and as king, all his shots pretty much hit because of the
The
implication.
original fuckboy.
He kind of was. Like, and instead of like other kings where they'd be like, yeah, we know they're having an affair. Kings do that. They're the king. They have some privileges they get to abuse. He waved it in everyone's face. He's like, I'm doing this. Like, you better bow down to her, this mistress, because that would never happen back in the day. But he's like, yeah, my dick goes in her, so you better treat her like me. And
Was there payroll? Like, was she on the payroll?
I mean, she
Yeah.
got to live in the palace and stuff
Yeah.
like
Like,
that.
this is the
yeah.
royal hole. This is royal hole
It is
3.
half. There's the Playboy Mansion. You're lending your celebrity.
Exactly.
Respect this woman.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, like, think about the amount of progress that kind of is at that time, right? Like, it's like you have to treat someone that I just randomly bang, even though she's a woman that you don't think highly of and she's not noble. She's kind of noble now.
Yeah, what are you talking
Yeah.
about?
She's noble because she's hot. The only women worth respecting are hot. That's the list. That's society's thing. The only women worth respecting are hot.
Well, I
You know
agree
that's
with
progress
that.
in
Yeah.
1660.
I do agree with that, yes.
Who's the one that, like, yeah. All of the, like, trailblazers were also hot and skinny.
Get out. What? Everyone was listening.
Name one fat. Mother Teresa, great BMI, good curves, pretty eyes. She was hot in her day.
Throat goat.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
Nancy Reagan?
Yeah.
No.
Wild bush. Unbelievable bush.
Nancy Reagan?
Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa for sure.
Yeah, she ain't shaving.
No way.
Not for God.
She also
Not
was
for no man.
kind of an awful person.
Oh, yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
But because, you know why? Because hot people are bad people.
I don't
too
know.
hot- if you're
Susan
too
B.
hot-
Anthony, was she
You
hot?
don't have to develop a personality.
If you're too hot, you're not funny, you're not smart, you're not interesting. If you're too hot, you'll eventually get ugly, and we won't like you anymore.
Better keep it up. Better get those operations done. Tighten that face
Dan,
up.
I don't mean you, just so you know.
Yeah, you're not too hot.
You're not at all what I'm talking about.
I'm not too hot, Jake.
You did say you would fuck me real good.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
no.
you're bringing me down. You're negging me. It's fine.
That's kind
You
of what
would
I
get
want.
fucked by Dan. You wouldn't fuck Dan. Dan would fuck you.
I think
Yeah.
in that situation, everyone understands that, and that's fine. But also, like, you know, just because I'm getting fucked doesn't mean I can't throw it back.
No, you can.
I would hope you throw it back. Yeah.
I think
There's nothing worse than somebody that
and
doesn't throw it
He's
back.
your
think-
bro. You throw it back for your bro.
it's a bro job. Yeah, you know? Hi, Dad. Anyway, my
Have
dad
you ever hooked
listens.
up with a girl who doesn't throw it back?
Oh, for sure.
Terrible.
I was in a fraternity, and I hooked up with plenty of boring white girls in my life.
Yeah.
So, yes, I've experienced that.
Okay.
I've definitely had sex.
Wish Rob was here.
Wow, what the fuck? Why?
Because he's had sex like twice. I wonder what.
Yes.
Well, he has
receipts.
receipts.
I wonder
yeah.
what his. You know.
I always say that like Courtney's kind of a freak because she like grew Rob's loads in her tummy. That's kind of gross. You think about like
Yeah,
shit
what's
freak.
freakier than life?
It's the freakiest
Death,
thing.
man.
Whoa, sick. Gotta get out of your vape. Oh wait,
I have to get up. Oh, you're asking me?
Well,
Actually,
she's
yeah, why not?
she's a stand-up, so of course she has a vape pen.
Should I go get it? It's
it's in the
weed pen.
Oh well, I wasn't gonna say that on air. Jeez. Anyway, no one knows for certain.
Dan's gonna edit it. Don't
No,
worry.
it's fine.
No, no,
we
this
talk
is all
about
in
cocaine
there.
constantly on this podcast. No one knows for certain how many women were considered Charles's acknowledged mistresses, but there were at least 14 women who are considered so.
We need to get e-glasses.
I have them. I just didn't bring them today because they were either. I feel like my mom right now. I'm like,
I know.
yeah,
Just blocking the autofocus.
because they were either with him in a long-term capacity or had children with him or both. This does not include the estimated hundreds of non-acknowledged affairs and his time spent in the brothel. He was a
Hundreds
man of the people. He
of
went to the brothel.
non-acknowledged.
The king went to the brothel. He was like, I know I can have you right
Oh,
now.
he's an easy
but I'm gonna
mark.
pay.
It's like, oh hey, I fucked that guy, and he's like, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
What a L. Ouch.
Yeah, nice.
The original fuckboy.
He was a fuckboy though, and I think he was kind of lifting up the brothel industry. He's like, you know what? I could just have you right now, but I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna pay my share. I'm not above this.
Yeah, because you know what? If a fuckboy is respectful, go off. Do what you're gonna do.
Go off, king. Literal king.
Go off, King Charles II.
Thank you.
What?
Too horny, too Charles.
Fair enough. He ended up having 13 recognized bastards, although they weren't able to recognized bastards. That's another big
Unrecognized
thing.
is way more than that. You think?
So many unrecognized bastards. But although these were the ones that
Real recognize real, though.
went to the recognized mistresses. So these were the children of the people he was actually like, you have to recognize her as a mistress. And they weren't able to officially inherit the throne, but they definitely were a tax burden, and a lot of people hated him for it. So
a tax burden.
yeah, mainly because his actual wife, the queen, could not produce an heir. So not only were people paying for a bunch of rugrats that would never actually lead them or the country, there was no heir for Charles II.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
I don't actually.
Did they
think
legitimize one? Or they put a council of bastards?
I think there's a lot of what is it called? Succession. There's
when
like
did
a lot.
divorce happen? I thought divorce was before this, in the Church of England. When was divorce?
I don't know.
It's when they
He should have
separated from the
divorced
Catholic
her. He
Church.
should have divorced. I mean,
He
'cause I feel
like
if-
loved his wife though. He wasn't gonna leave her.
That was Henry.
I know.
Henry the-
No, I know that, but I'm saying like I thought it was before this, because it's like if you can't produce an heir, then I don't know. I feel like if
Can't
that's
be
your,
married
if
to
that's
this
your
bitch.
only job,
Right.
if you're living the I mean, and it's like you
You
want
want to continue the bloodline.
You could get alimony and still live your life, but like let the guy have a kid. Like it's what he wants. It's
A
what
legitimate
his
heir.
prerequisite was is like if you're gonna be my wife, you gotta have my kid.
And you got to have a boy.
I mean, honestly though, not even necessarily a boy. Like if she gave him 10 girls,
Got to have a boy.
you could marry her off and then double the size and have a king. Like you could manipulate it in a way.
I guess you could. Divorce first happened for Henry in 1533, so this is over 100 years after the first.
After, so I'm saying he must have really loved her.
He loved her, and one of his biggest regrets was how much he fooled around. Because he's like,
What do you think? Do you think it was like House of Cards, like with the girl, with his wife, that's like, I respect that he fools around on me. It's hot that he does it. I like it.
well, he's the fucking king. Like, he's the
It's
most powerful
foreplay.
man on earth.
But do you think they had separate rooms?
I don't know. if
Separate
that's-
beds.
They probably had separate beds
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I think that was pretty common just in general. There was always a queen's chambers.
Bring it back.
They weren't like rocking in the same bed ever, I don't think.
Mm.
I don't think that's common at all. I mean, even shit. Like, I mean, Queen Elizabeth and Philip. Yeah, Philip.
They had. I mean,
They had
The
separate
Crown.
rooms. Yeah, I love The Crown
Me
too.
too.
Huge fan of that show.
I rewatched that. That's rewatchable to me.
Oh, for sure.
That
I
shit
think
doesn't interest me.
it's really good, man. You would actually probably like it.
Nothing about the English really do.
I started with the Diana season and then I went backwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. I started just from first season on, and
I didn't start till season 4, and I did all of season 4 before I watched anything else. You don't have to watch it in order. You could just pick whatever you like.
That's true. I think I like it in order personally, but
'Cause
Dan,
you're
you might
square.
actually like it because it's framed around actual historical events too.
Yeah, no, I don't care about British history.
Okay, well, it's a lot of Irish history too. Just remember that.
Those are your people, Dan.
The Irish, yeah.
Yeah, well, you want to see how they get fucked all the time?
No,
Okay.
I want to see the car bombs.
You want to see. We we figured out that they were like, oh shit, you got to get out of the car.
Gotta get out of the car.
Yeah, it's like Al Qaeda. They just got the Irish car bomb manual.
Mm-hmm.
They were missing the page where it was like, then you get out of the car.
So they kept suicide bombing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like,
but
"Oh,
that was
now
by
what?"
mistake.
Yeah.
Oh my
Whoops.
god. Just
Yeah.
like a printer ran out of paper.
A page
Yeah.
got stuck.
There's a lot of like distance
That's
for a
hilarious.
book to lose a page.
An Irishman was just jerking off to the idea of blowing off some English dudes.
He met a girl. He wrote his phone number down, ripped it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were like, these Rugrats really shouldn't exist, and they are getting all this great education, like they're normal nobility. People start getting a little pissed about that.
Yeah, I felt the
Ugh.
same way towards those later seasons.
Of what?
Rugrats.
Thanks, Dan.
Like when they go to high school and stuff, like
Okay.
didn't need that.
At court and on the streets of London and beyond, the preoccupation with sex at the palace became a hot topic. Poets and playwrights began putting out some pretty raunchy shit. And a lot of them were actually nobles from the court trying to push the limits of what was available to show to the public. So they were, because so much sex was going on in the palace, they're like, we got to tell people about this shit. Like, we got to let them know. Like, it's cool to fuck now. So,
Blogs.
sex blogs, not
Sex
original.
blogs.
Your hot take on your parts? Not.
Fun. An anonymous sex blog. And like back then it really truly is anonymous. Like nothing, you can never be anonymous anymore, but that's anonymous.
I feel like it might be easier to be anonymous now on the internet.
Just wear a little mask.
Yeah, you wear like
But
a.
I feel like back then you just wear like a little baby mask. Like you cover half your
Oh,
face and
like
everyone's like, who's this stranger?
Like the, what is it, the masquerade
Phantom of the
ball?
Opera?
Yeah.
Do you think though
Could be.
those anonymous kind of like porn couples on Pornhub, like people can recognize them out in the streets?
I don't know, but I love watching those because I'm like, they did a great job making this anonymous and also interesting to watch.
They'll have like great bodies, but they'll never show the face.
Yeah, and
Do
they
you
don't
think
have
like
tattoos. That's the key.
somebody at like
That's
an
the key.
accounting gig will just kind of walk through and be like, wait a minute, I know that vein.
Do you wear a mask
It's
when
not a
you
vein though.
suck
It's
your husband's dick?
tattoos. It's always the reason you can identify
the
someone is the
tattoos.
tattoos.
But if they
So
don't have a
never
single
commit a real
tattoo,
crime, Dan.
well, yeah, obviously.
He had a lighthouse on his arm.
They're like,
Well, I think the more concerning thing's the blimp.
Yes, the blimp, right. Got to get Goodyear on
the
that.
accused has a lighthouse tattoo on his forearm.
If that ever comes up in like a briefing where they're looking for someone, like, I ain't snitching, but I know what you did. So the plays that were put out were often downright obscene, and it started with pretty
Nice.
humble beginnings. They basically started by, they actually introduced cross-dressing for the first time ever. They brought cross-dressing into the main stage. The king did.
No, but they used to have men dress up as women
Yeah,
all the
that's not
time.
that's not
in England
first
though,
time.
for Western, like
Oh,
big, like white people.
But I
culture.
thought like for play, like to do a Shakespeare
oh, like
play.
Shakespeare? Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that not cross-dressing? I guess that's because it's a play. It doesn't count.
So the reason
character.
I would say, let me rephrase this. They brought in cross-dressing for sexual entertainment, not for character playing.
Oh, they're grooming.
So they wanted to be able to show women's
Like
legs.
women with penises.
Well, they wanted to show women's legs, but they were like, you can't do that. That's too racist. And it's like, well, what if we get a guy to dress as a woman and he shows his legs, and then she'll show her legs, and then no one's going to know.
So it was
Whose
like
legs
a
are getting
it's like a brunch spot that all these liberals keep taking their kids to, you know?
What?
Oh, Dan's very anti-drag.
Anti-drag?
I'm just kidding. He doesn't give a
I
shit.
don't give a
You're
shit.
born naked and the rest is drag, honey. RuPaul.
But like every brunch spot now pretty much has like drag
Drag
brunch.
is listen. You don't want to end up. You
overplayed.
don't want to end up somewhere thinking to have brunch and there be a drag. Like you need to go into drag brunch. Like,
No, you're
No
having
one's
drag
gonna
brunch.
have
yeah,
it.
that's like.
They just show up.
I've done a comedy show at like a bar where they're like, "Oh fuck, there's a comedy show," and it's so terrible. But like a drag brunch would be so much worse. Like if you thought you were gonna like have brunch with your in-laws. And there's like a drag queen like begging for dollars and like doing the splits on your table.
Putting their leg up.
On like your
Like-
father-in-law.
Like
And it's just
father-in-law's
like, I
face.
did not. I was gonna tell my wife I was getting divorced today, and now
This was the public
now we
setting.
have to go to dinner.
I have to be fabulous
Yeah.
for these people.
Damn it, I was
Um,
gonna propose.
I can imagine that's the same as like, did you ever do Cherrywood open mic?
Yeah, we did that.
We did it together.
Yeah.
That's right. It's like a bunch of kids studying.
Came
and
up
it's like,
together.
I hate it.
I'm gonna tell 3 minutes of jokes in front of
like,
you.
Listen to me. And
Yeah, it's the worst.
I'm
Oh,
19 and I have my
honestly,
whole
if I
life.
went somewhere and there was an open mic where I didn't want open mic,
It's the
You
thing.
leave.
It's the kind of thing you can't be surprised.
you can't catch me off guard with that.
No.
Yeah.
And no, don't leave. Well, the food's good.
Food's good.
I would just throw a tomato at you.
Honestly, we
I
need
wish
to bring
we
back
could do that
tomatoes.
again. I would love, because I've got big purses. I would have so many tomatoes. Cherry,
Old mushy
or even just a
ones.
cherry tomato,
You
Oh.
could rack up little cherry tomatoes.
like
Yeah.
a paintball gun,
Like
but
a
it's a tomato.
Pea shooter.
Rapid
yeah.
fire.
That'd be fun. So
Bring back booing. Bring back throwing fruit
or just the big hook, like the
Or the butterfly net,
that you take you off
the
stage.
net over the head.
yeah. Bring them out. Yeah.
Rob would do that to all of us today.
He would be doing that to me right now. He'd be like, Jake, why did you not keep
He
it?
couldn't pull us though. He doesn't have the upper body strength.
He doesn't. He's weak in the arms. So
Frail.
yeah, they started with legs, and they
sickly.
got pretty insane really quick. Eventually, it got so sexually explicit so quickly that one playwright just had an orgy on stage.
Ah!
He was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna just have everybody fuck on stage," because the king kept liking the pushing of the edge, and so eventually they're like, "Yeah, orgy for the king.
He
We're
was
gonna
the
do stage
Shia
orgy."
LaBeouf of his time.
Wow. Would you see live porn? I don't know.
I have seen live porn.
Yeah, he goes to the AVNs every year.
No, I don't go to the AVNs. But I mean, have you ever been to a peep show?
No, he goes to the AVNs
It's not
every year.
porn.
That's people fucking.
Oh, really? I haven't been to a peep show then.
Well, I mean, it's kind of simulated fucking, I guess. I don't know.
I thought
If,
a peep show was like burlesque.
no, New Orleans, it's like a mattress on a stage.
Well, are you
and-
behind like a double mirror?
No, it's
Really?
in a stage. Like you're there.
Did you
You're-
pay tickets for it?
Yeah, it was like $20. It was cheap as shit to watch two people, I guess, have
What
sex.
if you gambled? What if you made bets on that?
How fast does he come? How fast does he come?
Where's it gonna go?
Yeah, I don't think there's like full on like and like I think they're faking it.
How
I
much
think
do you
it's,
get
like,
paid
software
to
porn
be the
kinda.
entertainment? You and your wife.
I don't know if
Is there a price? Everyone's got a price
how much would it cost for me to have sex with my wife
in front of like a group of 100 people.
like bachelor party dudes.
No, like 100 people.
100 people, 10 of them you know.
Yeah, like
90 strangers, 10
like
people
like
you
a or a normal stand-up room.
Start with a number
5K.
$10,000.
way higher.
Really?
Then what?
100 people and 10 of them I know. Yeah, I want more than $10,000.
I would take like $500.
you're a rat.
Actually,
You're a rat.
maybe 50. Like
Maybe you do it for free. You make porn in your spare time.
If I could like have a dress on and like if I could keep things covered,
Yeah. Okay. Am
if I could stay covered, I would do it for 100. But if anything had to be shown,
$100.
1,000.
Oh.
100,000.
Dan's over here in the triple digits. Like $100? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's fair.
This is bad. Moving on.
Yeah, but you're with, all right, say it's the person you love.
That's the thing. I would have I like having sex with him. I think he would be cool with getting money for it. Like he'd be like, yeah, it's fine. Like, and if I'm covered up, $100,000
And could come out off like a total stud.
I
down
wouldn't,
payment
front
on
of
a
a group of
house, on a
people.
good
I
house.
wouldn't want to be in a situation where someone was objectifying
I'll
my
do
wife.
I'll objectify myself for building
All right,
Well.
Jake, a
Yeah.
group of 100 women.
generational wealth.
all day. All day, no question.
$5.
But it's free, baby.
$5.
Yeah,
Ew.
no.
Dan would pay to do it. Dan would be like, it would be like park. It could be like $40 to park or to do this. And Dan would do it.
Like, all right,
Dan
yeah.
would be like, I'll do you 20. I'll pay you.
It'd be like working at
$20.
Chippendales, really.
If parking
Kinda.
went down to $20, he would do it and then pay $20 a night
to park there to do the show. He would lose money actively.
Yeah, if you fuck for 10 minutes and we could watch.
So the poems that were coming out at the time, on the other hand, were pretty intense. The guys writing the poems were just King Charles II's friends, and they were roasting the absolute shit out of him. He could usually take a joke, but one that got published was from his good friend, and it kind of pissed him off, probably for being too accurate. This is just a piece of that poem. Poor prince, thy prick, like thy buffoons at court, will govern thee because it makes thee sport. 'Tis sure the sauciest prick that I ever did swive, the proudest, preemptorest prick alive. Though safety, law, religion, life lay on it, 'twould break through all to make its way to a cunt. Restless he rolls about from whore to whore, a merry monarch, scandalous and poor.
Poor because he has 13
Yeah,
illegitimate
because
children.
he's wasting all that tax money on
And
these
their
kids
moms.
he keeps siring. Yeah, and their moms.
Was that an AABB rhyme scheme? What was that?
It's
Pentameter.
It's
Iambic pentameter.
It's AABBCCDD.
Oh.
I'm glad it's not an acrostic. Like,
Oh yeah.
what
Nice
do they
use
call
of
his penis? Prick.
prick.
P
Prick.
is for
He is like a rap.
penis.
He is like a rapper though, where he's just rhyming prick with prick all the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rhymes with prick. They could have
He didn't rhyme prick with prick once.
Yeah, his vocab's not great. He said prick like 100 times
Lick.
in that.
brick, stick,
Stick is good.
nick, flick.
Kick.
Flick is
All right,
good.
we're not gonna
Flick's a
rhyme
good
prick
one.
all day, but yeah. So that was his buddy that wrote that. He was a member of the nobility as well, and Charles II kind of went up to him after and was like, "You put that in the paper, you're banished from England for 3 months." But then he's like, "Man, that shit hit though. It wasn't wrong. Those were bars.
Yeah.
Come on back." He brought him back after 3 months. He let him sit it out.
He's too inconsistent
DJ
right now.
Khaled, come
Make
on
up your
back.
mind, dude.
He's a little wishy-washy. I think
Yeah.
that's the French thing, the libertine kind of thing. It's like
Have your cake, eat it too.
I just think about like how the revolutionaries were
That's not
post-French
metaphorical.
I think him is
Revolution.
loyal. He's a loyal friend, and that's admirable.
He was pissed. He put some
Like,
distance
bro, you
between.
can't just. You should have asked.
Yeah.
If you had asked, I would have edited a couple things and then said fine.
I fucking loved it. It was great.
Yeah,
it was funny as
great.
hell, bro, but you
I
didn't
wish
ask
you'd
me.
known.
He's
Yeah.
a king.
Talk to me
Doesn't
first. I
matter.
just want you to communicate. Is
Yeah.
that too much to ask?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes you just gotta say, not ask to say.
Reading in the paper is a bummer.
It is
I
a
can
little.
see why he would be mad. I would be mad.
But he said it was the sauciest. But he was kind of complimenting his
It is
dick.
quite saucy.
Like the line to sure the sauciest prick that I ever did swive is literally it's that's the hottest dick that's
It's
ever
like,
been
that's
sucked.
my dog. That's what that means.
It's kind of like our king has the hottest dick ever sucked in the world.
Bet.
Like I don't know how you
Yeah,
banish
Jake,
someone
why
from
don't
that.
you ever write about my penis?
I've never seen your penis.
I find y'all don't show each other your penises.
I don't show my dick normally. No.
There was that one time in college you did.
Was that at the Georgia game before we knew each other?
Yeah, Florida Georgia game.
He's in the boxcar.
He's in the boxcar, just coming out like, look what I have
we
for
actually
you.
met before we knew each other, and before we knew we would know each other at a tailgate for a football game in Jacksonville, and there
He
was
was,
some chick getting railed in a boxcar by the
Yeah.
What's a
tailgate.
box car?
Like a
Train
train
car.
car. Yeah,
okay.
it was by a
Like
train
the
track.
boxcar children.
Yes, but
She was
bad,
getting
but,
fucked.
By
Yeah.
Jake.
like where they
No.
were getting
By
fucked
you?
by society. I was not fucking in the boxcar.
That's how I saw his dick. Yeah.
I was like, you ran a train? In a train?
It ran a train in a train. No, I was not entering anyone in the train.
in a box with a box?
No, he was seeing my
Boxing out in the
college
box,
girlfriend's
running a
best
train
friend.
in a train in the box car. There's a lot of puns.
And then we
here.
met, and I wanted to fight him, and
You
he's
didn't
like,
want to
"No,
fight me.
dude, like I'm cool."
That never happened.
He's just like, "Don't beat me up."
Feels like something he would say to try to seem cool.
Dan,
Yeah.
oh, tell me about it.
All right.
I would never make anything up.
Never once. His friends were also up to all sorts of wild shit on the side. Friends of the Kings actually started the Hellfire Club and the Order of the Second Circle. Order of the Second Circle. There's 2 reasons for that name.
Kingsman.
No. Dante's Inferno, the second circle of hell, is lust. And then, what do you think the second circle is?
Like your vagina?
Like your butthole.
Butthole.
Yeah.
Sodom.
Yes.
Hey.
Saddam Hussein. These were both edgelord clubs that focused on sex magic and more specifically blasphemy. Blasphemy was kind of like the hot, like, oh, I'm saying crazy shit right now. I'm talking bad about God. And
Open
1660
mics? An open mic in a sex club?
Pretty
Like
much.
a
I can't think of a word.
They would sit
combination.
around and be like, God damn it. Like, they
like just like, I think we should be able to sleep till noon on Sunday.
no, they were like doing reverse masses and stuff, kind of like what Satanist, what is it, like satanic church where they do the reverse mass, black mass.
I don't
They
even
would
know what
mock
that is.
mass. Well, basically, it's like you have a woman as like the
Yeah, I think
table.
everyone in the audience knows. We don't have to explain it.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, I think everyone's been to it.
Everyone's been to one. Everyone
Yeah.
loves black mass. Yeah.
I don't really need to get into detail.
To get a better sense
It's like
of
common knowledge at this point.
fair enough.
Yeah.
To get a better sense of the Hellfire Club and their parties, imagine frats that are way more into magic than just ritual. Imagine frat guys really stoked about who gets to eat the soggy biscuit. Yeah, like you want to eat that biscuit.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Ew.
because that's
It's
if you-
protein right there.
We'll eventually do like a ritual sex magic episode and like Aleister Crowley stuff. But yeah, lots of dicks and butts, lots of cum everywhere. They were just into like just saying God damn it and fucking each other in the butt.
Mm.
They were really big on this. And that was kind of more of a secret society thing. But
With the ladies or also your homies?
yeah, for sure. I mean, buggery was definitely a hush-hush thing. That was
With
still
guys?
definitely...
Man on man?
Oh, yeah. That was
Okay.
definitely more of a hush-hush thing, but it was happening a lot more with Charles
With
II.
bugs too?
And bugs, yes.
What's like,
Buggery is butt fucking.
oh.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that word.
It's more fancy. It's definitely an English thing.
Buggery.
But my favorite thing of anything else that they did that was decadent and weird was what was the fun, hot thing to have at your party at the time.
LSD from the United States government.
No, not in the
400 years later.
1660s. What do you think was the coolest thing to have at your party under Charles II? Like, if you were a member of Charles
Is it
II's
like a
court?
wild animal, like a tiger on a leash?
A sculpture,
Close.
an ice sculpture of a penis.
No, close. The coolest thing to have at your party was an ornamental hermit.
Ornamental
Like a
hermit.
crab?
No, like a person.
Mm.
They
Oh, like a
Quiet.
freak show. Like a weird looking ugly
gimp.
guy?
so kind of a wild looking, like unkempt person, just like long fingernails. Like the whole idea was like
someone that's
Rumpelstiltskin on a
feral.
leash?
Rumpelstiltskin kind of on a leash. They were allowed to roam around and
Oh,
stuff.
they had their own freak on a leash.
Corn reference?
Yeah.
Respect. Corn's good. Underrated.
Now kiss.
Kiss
You guys.
over corn? Yeah. So basically, nobles started paying people that were the help to dress like druids, like long-haired, mangy druids.
Oh, like making ugly, like his maids look like weirdos.
Yeah. Have you ever been to like a rich person's house and they have like a jockey statue holding a lantern?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but with
not
real people.
Right. When you have
Like
so much
crazy
goddamn
hair.
sex,
Yeah.
And like robes or something.
Long nails, like basically a wizard walking
Yeah.
around.
you got to
Um,
get creative because after you've been having the same sex, you want variety.
Well, these people weren't having the same sex. They were.
Wait, was this druid like just an observer or a participant?
It was very explicit that they do not interact with the party.
Oh.
Like they just be observed by the druid.
They're just
or
in the corner.
So we'll get to,
cranking
so
it?
it started with just like the help kind of being weird looking, but then they're like, this isn't authentic enough. This is fake. So they then started going to the countryside for working folk that looked a little bit muddied up, and they were like, hey, we'll pay you for the day if you come hang out at our party.
The crank corner.
And
Do they want to watch it, or they want it to watch them?
yes,
Which?
both.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
eventually they just become part of it.
So Dan's actually right, because eventually that wasn't enough. It's like they're still only here for the day. It's kind of
I
killing
want
the
a blowjob
illusion.
from the weird long nails.
Yeah, when you're
Or
a-
It's
a
not
hand
sexual.
job.
Not sexual.
You
at
can't
all.
just show up to an orgy and just not participate.
Yeah, not sexual at all.
Someone's
Completely
got to refill
non-sexual.
the chips.
What? You have caterers for that, and they're going to eventually get dragged in.
So when they realized that working class people weren't enough to be this role, what do you think they went to?
The slums.
They grabbed all the mentally handicapped kids from the
Oh.
country.
I forget that they had those back then.
Yeah, so they would find just the lame or mentally handicapped,
People
and
with downs and like.
pretty much, and then they'd have them grow out their hair, and they built little like huts
But
for
would they
them to
like?
live in
Would they
on the properties.
feed them and clothe
Oh yeah,
them?
they
And
they fed them and they gave them a rag to live in, and then they're like they wouldn't keep them though. They
Oh,
wouldn't
like
keep
slaves,
them.
Well,
like slaves.
You know, he has some French
They were
influences.
allowed to live.
Slaves.
Were they slaves? They
They
were.
would sound like slaves.
I mean, they had a salary.
Oh, so they got money.
They got money.
But
yeah.
is this somebody with Down syndrome or just
No, they lived in a fucking mud
Are they,
hut.
just, are they just going to the candy store and getting like, can I have 25 fruit roll-ups?
Do you think that's what mentally handicapped people
No,
get?
I'm just saying, like, what, like,
You're saying they're not financially responsible
I don't know.
I know plenty of people with Downs that are better with money.
Really?
than
No,
me. Yeah.
Zero. I
I'm
don't
saying,
know.
I feel like
Yeah.
everyone, they just have people around them that handle them, and they've never overdrafted. I'll tell you that. They're better with money than Dan.
I just said that. You don't have to steal my thunder.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they started erecting like caves for these people to live in, and I was like pretty fascinated by this. I was wondering why they did this. So the
They
reason,
shove these people in the caves.
yeah, why were they
because
doing
they're
this?
slaves and they don't care about
Yeah.
No,
them.
it wasn't.
So,
It wasn't
They're
like,
like
it was a
little
flex,
hunchbacks.
but it's a weird flex, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason for all of this, it turns out, they were so goddamn happy all the time under King Charles II's rule that they felt bad about it. So they hired someone to humble themselves they hired someone to look miserable so they could be like, oh, I feel so bad for him.
so
It was an empathy puppet, basically.
That makes
Well, they were meat puppets.
Yeah. So basically, it's like they would be able to go look at the hermit that they bought and be like, "Oh, I'm so glad
I guess
I
for a
don't look
hermit-
like him."
Yeah.
Yeah. And they made sure they were like, if you cut your nails or cut your hair or
And
shave
if you
your
get
beard,
it together.
you're gone.
Yeah.
So they had to live miserably on purpose so that these people could.
They're method actors, yeah.
Basically, it was like,
A freak show.
yeah, it was a freak show, but it was like looked highly upon because it's like, oh, they're trying to explore feelings other than we fuck all our friends and make a bunch of money. So like those people are actually more progressive.
Very Hunger Games.
Yeah, exactly. Very Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I
like,
think
there's
that's
too much. There's too much pleasure. We need to I want to feel bad for fun. Like I want to
Yeah,
have a
it's-
bad day. I'm
it's
gonna
yeah.
pay money to have a bad day.
Yeah, it's kind of like Strange Days
Yeah.
or.
I want to make the good days feel better, so I'm gonna throw in a bad day.
Yeah, basically like there's no good without very Proustian, right? It's like there is no good times without bad
Do you mean
times.
Proustian?
Fuck you.
I try to do that once a week, though. I'll go to under 35 to one of the shanties. Just kind of mix it up.
In between going to the gym and
I feel
going
like-
home.
Hold on. I feel like that's you getting tips and tricks for survival too. Like you're benefiting from that. You're learning street knowledge.
I mean, who's to say I'm not getting both?
Fair. Fair. Touche.
Kill two birds, one hobo.
Unfortunately, all good times have to come to an end. King Charles II, he was king for 25 years, from 1660 to 1685.
Until he was how old?
I should look that up.
And he died
Like is
of
he dying
every
at 30?
venereal disease.
Yeah. Any STDs? Any crabs?
Yeah, he died of...
He died
His
at
penis falling off.
55. No, he died at 54 years old. It was a sudden, just like epileptic shock. Epileptic shock. It wasn't epilepsy.
Epileptic
It wasn't
or
epileptic. It's
Apoplectic.
apoplectic shock. Yeah. They think he had some kidney failure. A couple things might have done it.
one of
he
these
worked with-
trolls blew his mind.
Throat goated him, dude. Yeah, they think it might have been mercury poisoning, which is a recurring theme in history because he worked with a lot of different mercury. He was really into science
And I
too.
bet there was a lot of it was in a lot of fancy linens and hats and
Yeah, he was a
shit.
Oh, yeah.
hatter in his
He's a
spare
hatter.
time,
He-
actually.
We actually go deep on hatters and why they get mad.
It was a hobby of his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Red
he
and
was
mercury.
he was big into science too and alchemy and things like that. So he was playing with a lot of mercury. But there's nothing to substantiate that. It could have just been, he's old, he's decadent.
You fuck some strange, you wake up with fleas.
He might have had syphilis for all we know, you know. But it was a slow death once it started, and he gathered everyone around, and he was like, told his first buddy, he was like, "Hey, don't let my house go hungry." And he put aside a big swath of cash to make sure his mistresses would never go hungry. They'd never starve. They'd at least have a roof over their head and food to eat. Same with his bastards. And then he gathered the rest of his boys, and when all that was done, he's like, his last words were basically, I'll pull up his
What did he do
last
for
words.
his wife? Did he do something extra special for her?
He kind of apologized to her.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, I feel bad about
He
that.
gave her syphilis.
Probably
It's
the
parting gift.
castle, right? Did she? I wonder what happened to her.
You want me to find out?
Yeah.
Okay, I will in a second.
She died in pain.
I bet I wonder if she met somebody, had a nice time. Maybe she was a lesbian.
She might have been. A lot
Asexual.
of people are doing
I
stuff.
think when people don't have kids, it's because she was gay.
So if me and Katie never have kids, it's because one of us is gay.
No. Historically, when it's they're never in the same room, they never
No.
travel together, they never hang out together. They
No,
never have kids.
we're on to you.
Yeah.
Time's up, Jake.
Have you had sex? Prove it. Show me a receipt.
I don't have any children to hand to you.
Oh,
But in that,
okay.
I have
if
none
that's the
that
case, none of us have.
well,
That's true.
We're all virgins.
that I take credit for.
No, I just threw my receipt away.
Hell yeah. Great.
Mine got flushed out.
It's trash. It's
Yeah.
trash.
There's-
It was in a coat I didn't want or need at the time.
Yeah. There's a special pill for mine. So his last words to all his homies were, "I'm sorry, gentlemen, for being such a time a dying," which is basically him saying to all his friends, "Sorry my death's such a drag. Sorry to end the party, but it's got to go with me."
Sorry to be such a mummer.
And then it definitely went downhill from there.
Yeah, 'cause
no one partied.
he has
that
no
hard ever
heirs.
again. Yeah, he had no heirs. No one, and people were like,
So was there a bloody fight
Who
over
came
the
next?
throne?
Yeah.
"That's
the
for
chicken or
another
the egg?
time. That's for another time."
He didn't look it up.
What a
I
cliffhanger.
didn't look it up.
Yeah,
No,
What a
look it up.
cliffhanger.
I figured
He had no power though, so he did this all on his phone.
That's right. I
is
did use my
impressive.
phone to do it, and then I read it from a computer. So, yeah, what'd you guys learn today? Nothing.
Fuckboys have been around forever.
Oh,
Taylor's old as time.
that's not
a
new.
fuckboy.
Taylor's old as time. Dan?
Currently, people are concerned that when they go down a certain porn rabbit hole, it'll progress worse and worse.
Cornhole.
A porn hole.
That's true.
But it's the same thing with sex. If you have normal sex at first, then you gradually build it up to something else. Maybe you have some restraints. Maybe there's some rope.
Maybe
you
you just have to be spit on.
Yeah.
Before
Maybe you need to be choked.
Skin is just.
Maybe you need to be cut at some point. Maybe you need a gun down your throat.
Or just to your head.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And you want one in the chamber.
I mean, he kind of did set the bar for like slippery slope, where it's like, oh, if they let legs get shown in the theater, anything could happen. And that's very true. They were having just orgy shows.
It was a
at certain
gateway
point.
drug for
Yeah.
immodesty, for hedonism.
Yeah, for sure.
And now
A dude's leg became a
A
fuckfest.
feminine man.
Yeah,
A
imagine
bottom.
that. Well, yeah, they're out here
And
corrupting society.
And that's who we're going to blame.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I learned. There's drag brunch has been around for a long time.
Long time. Who's Hitler?
Probably the king. For
How was the king Hitler?
he
Bro?
let his dad die.
He let his dad die. His dad got killed. Honestly, his dad got killed because he just laughed at them when they were like, "You're being put to death." He's like, "Okay, do it."
Fine, Hitler is the French for teaching this young man immoral acts.
I think Hitler is the man who showed his legs. The man with legs so good. It was the leg scene around the world. It uncorked.
Hitler.
Sexuality.
How are you guys missing English Puritans?
No. Hitler's
We're-
buggery
We're separate. That's separate.
because it's an immoral act against God.
Different land masses.
Fair enough.
Sorry, we're Catholic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Listen, what the Pope did, it's one thing, but this is so much worse.
okay, guys.
Joking, obviously.
Well, I think that's it for
Is
me.
this the
That's all we
longest
got, yeah.
episode that's ever?
No, this is nowhere near the longest
No, not
episode.
even close.
I feel bad.
But check out softcorehistory.com for merch.
Check it out.
Patreon.com/softcorehistory. Patreon's going to be a little late this week and the week after, but me, Jake, and Giorgio should be recording an episode for Patreon in Arizona. So we'll
Wednesday.
drop that Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Dan, are you gonna upload your gambling, your sports gambling?
I already told,
screenshots?
I'm already keeping them up to date. Like, I'm keeping track.
No, I know you're keeping track, but will you post a picture on the Patreon if? a certain
I'm doing it
number-
for yearly, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Dan does do like logs his stats. He's actually very transparent about it. He doesn't lie. He's not a liar.
No.
I'm a loser with integrity.
Yeah, gotta love an honest loser, you know. You can
lifetime
check
on
out
that.
Gabby Montemayor.
Well, you don't have to, but
No, but yeah, plug your stuff.
no, that's good. Thank you.
Oh, word. Okay.
Or you can Venmo me if you want.
Yeah, Venmo her. At
Any
Gabby
money you're going
Monty.
to send to her, just
Gab
give to me.
Monty.
Gab Monty.
So it's kind of wasted on her.
You might get services requested in favor for money sent, but that's our fans' problem, not ours. So, sorry. Yeah, and for Gabby and Dan, I'm Jake Goldman.
You just got soft served.